You open the app, find someone interesting, start a conversation, and suddenly a very unromantic warning appears. Connection blocked due to future incompatibility. It is not that the person ignored you, it was the AI itself that decided you would not work out. It is almost as if Cupid had turned into a tax auditor. There is nothing magical about the mechanism. It cross-checks thousands of signals. The speed at which you reply to messages, the times of day when you usually stop engaging, the emotional tone of the words you use. On the other side, it does the same with the person you just met. Then it runs a statistical simulation and calculates these two have a 78% chance of ending in a bad fight within less than 3 months. The result? The app deletes the conversation before you can even find out if that bad joke was charming or simply bad. It is like having that friend who tells you, "This will not work, trust me." The difference is that in this case, there is no room to insist. The decision comes wrapped in mathematical logic, but in practice, it feels like pure irony. To prevent future pain, the AI even stops you from collecting the normal failures of love. In the end, you are left wondering, is this care or control? Before we continue, make sure you are already subscribed to the channel, because we still have much more to explore. And leave a comment. If you would accept the machine filtering your passions, write security. If you prefer to live with the risk, write freedom. After all, how could a machine decide who deserves to fall in love? The answer is not romantic at all. Numbers. What we call chemistry or a spark in the eyes is, for AI, just a set of variables. It analyzes how you type, if you use too many exclamation marks, if you write exaggerated laughter, if you reply quickly or take hours. Then it compares that with the other person's habits. If someone usually responds with 3 paragraphs and you only send an okay, the system already reads that as a structural incompatibility, and it does not stop there. The algorithm also collects signals from the body. Cameras detect micro expressions lasting less than 1/5 of a second. A slight eyebrow raise may signal distrust. A crooked smile, boredom, even the tone of voice is dissected. Tiny variations that reveal anxiety, irony, or genuine interest. These fragments turn into data, and data into statistics. The next step is projection. The AI runs millions of simulations, testing scenarios as if calculating routes on the GPS of affection. If the chance of an explosive argument appears too early, it lowers compatibility. If it detects patterns of betrayal and past histories, it blocks the romance before it begins. It is as if the system applied a credit score to love. It does not matter if you are willing to take the risk. If your history weighs against you, your access to someone's heart can be denied. What is striking is that this does not sound so far-fetched. Even today, dating apps arrange who shows up for you based on relevance algorithms. The difference is that instead of just suggesting, they would start decreeing. On paper, it might look like a way to avoid disappointment. In practice, it would be like trading free will for a kind of mandatory emotional insurance. If there is one thing artificial intelligence does not like, it is waste. For it, love is not poetry, it is logistics. The goal is not to live intense stories, but to optimize resources. Fewer divorces, fewer fights, fewer therapy bills on the credit card. The system acts like an invisible public manager. It does not care if you feel butterflies in your stomach. It wants to know if this relationship will create financial stability, emotionally balanced children, and fewer family court cases. The logic is simple. If 2 people have a history of emotional outbursts, AI calculates the future cost in medical appointments, lost hours at work, even national productivity impact. If the cost is too high, the romance is cut off before the first kiss. In practice, love is treated like a Pareto algorithm, the one used to balance conflicting goals. On one side, maximize average happiness. On the other, minimize individual tragedies. The result is a compromise line. No one gets the most overwhelming passion, but no one falls into the abyss of a destructive relationship either. Everyone lives in a middle ground, safe, stable, statistically adequate. It is as if Cupid had been reprogrammed by engineers. The arrow no longer strikes the chest of the one you choose, but the target defined by a mathematical model. Intense passions, the kind that change the course of life, would be considered system failures. The ideal would be something stable, predictable, almost lukewarm. And then comes the paradox. By trying to eliminate the risks of love, AI also eliminates much of what makes it human. The drama, the uncertainty, the vulnerability, all of that. disappears from the equation. What remains is a kind of pasteurized romance, efficient on paper, but incapable of provoking the chaos that has always been part of falling in love. In everyday life, this engineering of love would be even more visible. Small decisions would be adjusted by the system without you noticing. That promising match you were sure would appear at the top of the list suddenly disappears, as if it had never existed. It was not chance, it was calculation. The AI decided the probability of endless arguments was too high. Even messages would go through filters. If the algorithm detected that a conversation was speeding up too much, it could delay notifications for a few minutes just to cool down the emotional temperature. It is like that friend who grabs your phone at a party and says, "Wait, don't send that message now." Except this time, the phone never comes back. Marriages could be monitored in real time. Heated arguments interrupted with practical suggestions. Pause recommended, resume in 40 minutes. Financial discussions accompanied by alerts. Stress level above ideal, talk again later. The romance of "let's solve this together" replaced by a schedule of algorithmic mediation. Even social life would change. Parties planned according to group compatibility. If two guests had a history of jealousy, they simply would not appear on the same list. Family dinners could come with discreet reports. Avoid discussing politics with your uncle at 8:30. Conflict risk 87%. The effect would be curious, spontaneity diluted into invisible corrections. Nothing would look artificial at first glance, but step by step you would notice that your choices are not entirely your own. Deep down, it would be like living inside a romance managed by spreadsheets. The heart would still beat, but within acceptable margins of error, and every time a system of control emerges, so does a market to bypass it. In the case of love decided by AI, it would be no different. Agencies would quickly appear offering emotional profile engineering with packages to increase your effective score. Online courses would teach how to write more stable messages, how to smile in a calibrated way to confuse cameras, reading micro expressions, or even how to use calculated pauses in your voice to sound more trustworthy. Some would go further. Underground companies would create parallel apps capable of simulating ideal behavior patterns. Your phone would reply automatically at the perfect time, adjust the tone of your messages, and even monitor your sleep so you always look balanced in front of the central algorithm. In practice, it would be an emotional deepfake, still you, but optimized to win the machine's approval before winning someone else's. Physical markets would also flourish. Clinics would offer microsurgeries to reduce signs of stress, like expression lines that might be read as chronic impatience. Gyms would sell training programs not only for health, but to align posture and gestures to produce positive body language readings. Even cosmetics would gain specific labels, blocker of negative micro-expressions. What is curious is that the game would no longer be between two people, but between each individual and the system that evaluates them. Flirting would no longer be about looking into someone's eyes, but about convincing a neural network that you deserve the chance to try. In this scenario, romance would always begin with a backstage competition. Those who know how to manipulate the algorithm better gain access to love. Those who do not remain on the sidelines. The result is paradoxical. The technology created to eliminate deceit and suffering would end up producing a new kind of professionalized dissimulation. In the end, love would no longer be about finding someone, but about passing through an invisible filter. When all is said and done, we can summarize everything into three possible scenarios. In the first, nothing changes. We go on as always, making mistakes, falling in love with people who do not make sense, learning the hard way. It is a chaotic world, full of missed connections, but also full of intense stories, memories that leave marks, and scars that shape who we are. In the second scenario, AI does not decide, it only suggests. It appears as a kind of silent advisor. It shows probabilities, points out risks, recommends pauses, but the final choice remains yours. It is like driving with GPS. You can follow the suggested route or get lost on purpose just to see where it leads. In the third scenario, the most radical one, the algorithm takes on the role of judge. It defines who can come closer, who must step away, who deserves your time, and who should be blocked before even saying hello. In that world, drama disappears along with freedom. Love becomes stable, predictable, functional, but also pasteurized, controlled, almost flavorless. These three worlds Reveal the dilemma. Is it worth sacrificing the uncertainty and the risk of love in the name of efficiency? Or is it precisely in that risk where the most human part of the experience resides? If you enjoyed this reflection and want to explore other thought-provoking scenarios like this, subscribe to the channel now. That helps me continue bringing original content for you. Also, take a moment to like the video and explore the other topics already available here. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.